Hey everybody, welcome back to Newsarama.com. I'm Justin Tyler, this is Alex Zalbin, and we're sitting here talking to Ben Barnes.
Hey fellas, how you doing?
How are you?
Good, thank you, yeah. Really enjoying this
kind of
crazy
red
convention. It's awesome. I've never been to a convention of anything before, so yeah, I'm really excited.
This is a good one to start.
Let's start off talking about your role in Prince Caspian.
Yeah. Well, I play Prince Caspian.
Oh, perfect!
Boom, there it is.
Oh,
I knew it was something. So I played the sort of reluctant hero who is chased away from his castle because his uncle has killed his father, and so he has to kind of revive the magic of Narnia and then fight against his own people with the help of the four Pevensies who he calls up from the first movie. So it's quite a sort of cathartic story. You know, he's fighting against his own family, essentially.
How does it feel being at the center of this movie? All the posters are of you.
They are. I noticed that. They
And a lion.
and a lion in some of them. Yeah. I mean, that part of it is kind of crazy. I mean, I understand the need for to kind of have to latch on to kind of one thing that people get excited about. Sort of following that story, and it is obviously Prince Caspian's coming of age story, and it's a story about his return to faith as much as anyone else's. But it's kind of weird to see this kind of swashbuckling, action guy on the poster because Caspian really isn't that kind of character at all. But I think once people see the movie, they'll see the correlation, and obviously I'm a good guy, so I win in the end. So.
Was it like jumping into a movie series midstream, so to speak?
All guns blazing, as it were. I mean, I had to, I had to dive straight into all the kind of the various types of training, the sword training and the horse training, and kind of trying to get a little bit fitter and all that kind of stuff, and which is a kid's dream come true, basically. Doing all these, going to work and fighting the bad guys. I mean, that's a pretty great way to spend a day. We shot in a place in the South Island of New Zealand called Paradise. That was my first shot. I mean, it just tells you everything about the experience. But everyone was very welcoming. They had this great kind of family atmosphere, as you would expect on a Disney movie. And my family came out to visit, and some of my friends. And I think the Pevensies all knew that somebody else would kind of be coming into this family unit that they got, so they were very welcoming as well. And Andrew kind of helming the ship, really really knows what he's doing. So it was a very kind of safe environment to kind of take these risks for me.
Had you read the book before and maybe thought, Prince Caspian,
maybe I could do
I could be that.
Interesting. No, well, I had, yes. I read them when I was 8, and then I read them again when I was at university. I did children's literature as one of my sort of special topics. I was kind of always interested in why certain kind of sort of franchises of books kind of take off and others don't, And I always imagined Caspian as a kind of 14-year-old boy with blonde hair, so I didn't fit my own description of Caspian. But then Andrew kind of explained to me that they were going for this swarthy, piratey Telmarine race, and all the other actors would be Spanish and Italian, and they were all so fabulous. You wait till you see like Sergio and Pierfrancesco's performances. They've got these eyes that just burn at you, and they are phenomenal. And so I watched a lot of their stuff and listened to their accents and it's going to be a cool story. It's very, very different to the first one.
Had you seen the first movie?
I watched the first movie during the kind of the auditioning process, and I then immediately regretted it because I saw the scale of it, the vastness of it, and all these huge characters, and I thought, I don't deserve to be part of something this huge, But then, a couple of weeks later, I was there on the field, trying to save the girl and take out the bad guy and stop the horse from running away, and it was immense.
Is it a crazy
awesome in the true sense of the word?
Is it a process like that where it's like there's so much going on set at once, or do you have time to get to know the cast? Are you guys all close friends? And
we did. We shot over 7 months, so eventually we got to know each other pretty well. Me and Dinklage huddled in the trailer. Just like, what do you want to do? I don't know. What do you want to do? Are you still watching Prison Break? Yeah, that kind of thing. But is it still raining? Yeah, we lost about a month to rain, I think, over the 7 months. About a month of that was just waiting for it to stop raining. But, what was the question?
Like, did you bond, and was it crazy? It sounds like it was.
Well,
like, there's a lot
it
going
was
on.
crazy, and there was a lot going on. And you know, when you're standing in the middle of the battlefield, and there's bombs going off, and your horse is trying to bolt, and you're trying to keep it still, and you're trying to focus on someone and deliver a line at the same time. I mean, you know, it gets on top of you, but essentially for most of the time it's all about the moment to moment and the very specifics and being very honest about the conversations and realistic about what you're doing, so people really believe in the story and it's not just a bunch of CGI effects stringed together with some characters, you know. And so for me it was very important that you go on the emotional journey as much as anything else. It's very interesting. I just went to Japan and they have a whole different trailer there. Because the Japanese people much prefer the sort of the emotionally charged stories as opposed to I would have thought they would be really into the action, but apparently they just really want to go on these kind of emotional journeys and really invest in the characters, and so the whole trailer there is more about Caspian's plight and more about his sort of inner struggle. So that was really interesting to me, but that's obviously the part that is more my job than anyone else's.
Cool. You were in Stardust as well.
Yeah.
Are you drawn to this kind of fantastical material, or do you love it?
I'm drawn to it not necessarily in a professional way. I'm drawn to it in a fan type way. I mean, I love, you know, I grew up watching The Princess Bride, and you know, I love kind of watching fantasy films. I mean, I read the book of Stardust before, and you know, the Neil Gaiman story, and thought this would be a cool thing to play. And I actually auditioned for the Tristan role in that, and I didn't get it, and then later on they called me and said, do you want to play Young Dunstan? I was like, hell yes. So you know, that was kind of really exciting, but I've been very lucky so far to be doing a huge variety of different parts. I mean, I've played the American high school quarterback, I've played a Russian kind of gangster immigrant, I've played, you know, a sort of Yorkshire schoolboy, I just finished a film with Jessica Biel and Colin Firth and Kristen Scott Thomas, a kind of Noel Coward English period comedy. So you know, it couldn't be further from this. But that's the really exciting thing about being an actor for me. You know, you can be a comedian, you can escape inside someone else's mind for 3 months or 7 months or however long it is, and you know, that's what draws me in.
You sort of just mentioned this a little bit, but I guess what's next for you?
Well, I've just finished shooting this movie, Easy Virtue, and I hopefully fit something in the summer before The Voyage of the Dawn Treader, which I'm going to start shooting at the end of the year, mostly in Mexico, I think. So, you know, different landscape, different director, really different type of story, more of an adventure thing than the first one's kind of fairy tale-esque, Christmassy, and this one is obviously kind of big and actiony, and, you know, about restoring faith and restoring magic into this dark land, and then this kind of roving adventure story in the third one. So I'm the most excited person.
You know?
Yeah, I'm the most excited person I know.
That's fantastic. Well, thank you so much for being here.
My pleasure. Really nice to meet you guys.
And stay tuned for more from newsarama.com.